And welcome back to WHHI-TV with our first show of the new year. And our next guest, we are very excited to introduce you to Dr. Jean Fruh, who's been with us interviewing many times. Jean, nice to see you again.
Good morning. Thanks for the invite.
We were talking before. It was several years since you and I sat down and talked about this very important subject, an exciting subject. We're going to talk about the kids in kayaks today and your special project coming up. But you said since last time we talked, you've added how many kids to the program?
Oh, well over 3,000. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
that's really wonderful.
So, yep.
For those people who may not know about the Outside Foundation, it seems like most of us do around here, but there might be some who don't. So give us an overview about what you all do.
Sure. We're formed in 2014, and we're a local 501c3. We're a small nonprofit. Our work focuses on Beaufort County. Mm-hmm. And our mission is to get kids outside and to preserve and to protect our local environment. Our signature program is called Kids in Kayaks.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to focus a little bit more on the details of that
today.
But I want to point out how, especially in this last year with the pandemic and being able to get outside and do things, it's got to be vitally important to the emotional health and wellness of everybody, and especially the kids, you know, having to be in virtual school and all that. So this is, to me, even more important for this event coming up in March. So tell us a little bit more about Kids in Kayaks.
Sure. Our Kids in Kayaks program was really begun many, many years ago by two middle school teachers who, you know, really had the idea that kids should learn about nature in nature. Mm-hmm. We focus on seventh graders, and we invite all seventh grade schools and teachers within our county, both public and private, to participate. What the program does is it focuses on that environmental science curriculum of the seventh grade, which is the salt marsh ecosystem. And so a typical day for Kids in Kayaks, we would invite 40 to 50 students. They arrive via bus at a local marina, whether it be Shelter Cove, Palmetto Bluff, Port Royal Sound Foundation. When they arrive, they're typically accompanied by teachers, administrators. We have lots of chaperones. Parents often come along. We divide the group into two. For the first 2 hours, half of the group will go kayaking with professional kayak guides. The other half of the group will rotate among dockside stations where they'll do such fun activities as dock fouling, learning how to use binoculars so they can observe birds. We'll have a salt marsh in a touch tank so that they can touch, experience, and talk about basically the ecosystem and the food web within that. We do water testing, the same exact water testing that the SCDNR does to determine, levels of cleanliness and other things. We all eat lunch outside, that middle of the day break. And then we switch activities. Those that went kayaking in the morning will do the dockside activities, which are all supervised by master naturalists and teachers. And then those who were at dockside in the morning will do the kayaking. It's a full school day. It's a school day outside. And for the vast majority of these kids, it will be the very first time they've put on a life jacket, held a paddle, and hopped into a kayak. Really fun.
And so important, as we said, not only is this a recreational, but it's an educational experience, and so much to learn about our ecosystem and the marshes and the waterways and the rivers around here that it's just amazing. So this is so important. This is something you're not going to get in the classroom.
Right.
So this is a wonderful opportunity for these kids, and like I said, a safety thing too. Like you said, first time they're putting on a life jacket.
Sure.
So very important. My girls have actually done this since I've talked to you last in middle school, and so it's been fun for them as well. But you've got a fifth annual event that's coming up in March.
That's correct.
Let's talk about that.
Sure. We have the Page Island Oyster Roast. Again, this year our title sponsor is Coastal States Wealth Management of Raymond James. Super excited to have them as our title sponsor. The date of our event is March 7th. It's a Sunday and a Sunday afternoon. The event begins at 1 and it wraps up around 5. It'll take place on the Page Islands, which is just a spectacular venue. We are so grateful for Mike Overton and Outside Hilton Head who are donating this venue, a 30-acre group of hammock islands just off of Defusky. Couple of ways our guests will get there, those that have secured tickets. The Spirit of Harbortown.
Okay.
Grateful to the Vagabond for donating the Spirit of Harbortown. So we'll be, of course, doing, the whole COVID protocol to load guests onto that. We'll serve light appetizers and mimosas. There'll be a cash bar as well. Lots of room for people to spread out. We'll be selling limited tickets to our event to make sure we don't crowd. It's a beautiful cruise over. Often we see dolphin. When we arrive on the island, you'll be greeted with a signature drink and a keepsake stainless steel, really, really nice reusable cup. And then it's a great day on the island. Some guests too will bring their own boats. So we offer concierge parking of boats, which is really kind of cool and neat and I think unique. So if you want to bring your own boat, we're more than happy to have you do that. We'll find a safe spot for your boat to be parked while you're enjoying.
Does someone, if they're planning on doing that, do they need to let you know in advance?
Sure, it's all done by ticketing.
Okay.
And once you have secured a ticket, then we basically will be reaching out to find out whether our guests will be traveling on the Spirit of Harbortown, from Harbortown, or whether they will be coming by private boat. And we will also have boats leaving from Palmetto Bluff for our guests from the Palmetto Bluff and Bluffton area. So sure.
What are the costs of the tickets?
The adult ticket is $150. Children are half price. And I would add, too, that it's a fun family event.
Okay.
For the kids, we have 30 acres of island. We have nature
I've been there. I
trails.
told you one time just to see. Yes.
So it's really, really fun. And so we have a scavenger hunt for the kids. We'll have games. There's plenty of room for them to explore. We'll have master naturalists on the island. We'll also have kid-friendly food. We certainly have non-seafood entrees as well as our Oyster Roast, our Lowcountry boil, which is all prepared right there on site. Really, really neat. But we'll have kid-friendly lunches and all. And then we'll also have a bonfire for s'mores later for the kids to enjoy. But it's really a very family event as well. So don't hesitate to bring the kids.
And you never know who you're inspiring when you're doing that, kids or adults, to just, and learn more, and especially the young kids with this Kids in Kayak program, that might inspire them to, look into a career or education in that area, which around here is very vital. So just some long-term things that you might make impact and seeds you're planting on these children that you never know where they're going to grow. And it's just an exciting thing. Share with us some of the other things how can someone help you? Just a general community member. Obviously, you're 501c3. That means totally funded by generosity of donors. How can people help with that?
Sure. I mean, the other work that we're doing in addition to our kids programs, which include also Boys and Girls Club programs and working within the Gullah community at the Rowing and Sailing Center, we also do a lot of cleanups, beach cleanups, waterway cleanups, and park cleanups. We post all of those both on our website, www.outsidefoundation.org, and we also post them on our Facebook page and Instagram. So that's an easy way. You can become a friend of the foundation.
Okay.
So if you go on to our website, there'll actually be a pop-up, and it says, if you want to become a friend, provide us with an email address, and that gives you a newsletter access.
Okay.
So every once in a while, we send out newsletters or volunteers needed announcements, and that's a great way to find out what we're doing. For example, this Saturday, we'll be bagging our oyster shells. We have a community-based oyster shell recycling and bed restoration project that we do in partnership with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Once we collect the shells, we have about 15 restaurants that participate, plus community members. Once we collect them, we have to put them in bags. We use those bags to rebuild reef. So we have volunteers stop by. So at 10 a.m., Coastal Discovery Museum this Saturday is a great opportunity for people who might want to come and you can cut the mesh bags, you can shovel shell, you can actually help put the shell into the bags and the tubes and things like that. So there's work for all, and it's not all just heavy physical work. And it's we always talk about why we do this program as well, so people can learn about the significance of recycling an oyster shell, putting it back in our ecosystem. So pretty neat project.
And as we said, very educational as everything is you do.
Sure.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I'm going to sign up for a newsletter so I can keep up with what's going on. And we just thank you for sharing about all the wonderful things the Outside Foundation is doing, and in particular for the kids and the kayaks. So thank you for coming and telling us about that. And we hope you all will look into the event coming in March and take advantage of the great environment we have out there. And thank you all for watching today. And thank you all for watching 843 TV, where communities come to speak.